Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Pi. If you're new here, today I'm going to be reviewing the Traitors UK Season 6. Excuse me, it's not Season 6, it's Season 2, Episode 7. How can I always what is 6? Lord help me. Listen, I got too much going on. I just recorded my Get Ready With Me. As you can see, I did my face today. I went to the movies. So I just got back from the movies. I recorded my Get Ready With Me. I should have that out either tomorrow or Sunday, probably Sunday. So yeah, happy, what is it, Good Friday, Easter weekend, and all that good stuff. Y'all got anything good planned this weekend? What are y'all cooking? I'm hungry. Although I just left from the movies eating chicken tenders and fries and the Nerds clusters. I think that's what it's called. I love those. Oh my God, it's so freaking good. But anyways, we are going to be talking about the Traitors UK Season 2, Episode 7. So before we get into it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell and like the video. If at any point in the video you like the video. And leave some comments down below, y'all. So let's go ahead and get into it. Episode 7 starts off where episode 6 ended, with Miles telling Diane that he doesn't really like the fizzy drink that's in his chalice. He kind of likes flat. And she was like, she has flat. So he was like, okay, why don't we just swap it out? And Diane swaps it out with him, puts her beautiful little lips to the poison chalice, and Diane has sealed her fate. However, I said in the last video that she was going to die a slow death, but I forgot in this season they didn't say that. So they don't know that she's going to die a slow death. So Ross is the first person to show up for breakfast all by himself. Minutes later, Miss Diane shows up for breakfast. So Ross is happy because he finally gets a brief moment to talk to his mom without anybody around, and they can just, be themselves or whatever. So they're trying to catch up like real quickly. And Miss Diane is telling him, lay off of Zach. And he's like, why? And she's like, because he's not a traitor. I don't think he's a traitor. And Ross has the audacity to tell his mama that he thinks she's a traitor. He was like, I'm still not 100% on you. And she's like, what? Why me? What am I doing? He's like, you're just throwing all these random names out there. You're acting like a traitor. And I'm like, Ross, you're kind of doing the same thing. So it's like the kettle calling, the pot calling the kettle black? That's what he's doing right now. They get interrupted by Charlie and Miles. So Miles is the person that gave Miss Diane the chalice. So when he walks in the door, he's like shocked, but he has to catch himself because he's like, what? Whoa, what is she doing here? I killed her last night. Did I do something wrong? What's going on? But he has to play it out. So he's like, oh, hi. I'm so glad you're here. But really, I'm not. I'm confused. And then Jasmine, Harry, and Evie walk through the door next. And Harry is like, did something go wrong last night? I'm confused. So he has to play it off. And then after that, Paul walks in and same thing. He's in his confessional like, I'm pretty sure that Miss Diane is not supposed to be here. But I guess we're going to have to see how this one plays out. Last but not least, Zach and Andrew walk in, and that's everybody. So now everyone's looking around like, wait, whoa, what's going on? Everybody's here. They don't know what to think of it. Of course, the traitors are thinking, we didn't do something right. But Claudia walks in and lets them know that you all look a little shocked today. That everybody has appeared at breakfast this morning. But let me just tell you, someone was poisoned last night. And there will be a slow death. And immediately everybody's like, oh my God, poison how? Miss Diane says that someone gave her a kiss, but she can't remember who it was. So she's trying to think of who gave her a kiss. And then Big Mouth Harry decides to say, it could have been like food or a drink or something. If you are a traitor and you know that you're a fellow traitor, gave someone a drink. Why would you bring up drinks? Why would you bring up drinks? I'm like, Harry, are you serious? Are you trying to be found out? Or are you trying to throw Miles under the bus rather? Because your hands are really clean in this one. Claudia also lets them know that their mission will be that they have to march to the death of the person that was murdered. And by the end of the mission, someone will be dead. So they're trying to figure it out. Once Harry brings up the drinks, of course, they're like, well, who gave out drinks? Miles owns right up to it. He's like, I've been giving drinks out all day. Evie is like, I gave drinks out as well. So that's a good thing that at least it wasn't just Miles, but still, now his name is out there as like number one, number two suspect. So we see Paul, Molly, and Harry, and they're walking out, and they're like, Paul and Harry are acting confused, like, wow, this is crazy, who could it possibly be? But Paul makes sure that he lets it be known, baby, I ain't give out no drinks to nobody. So don't bring my name up. My name have been brought up enough, okay? Don't even think about saying my name, period. Inside the house still, we see Andrew, Diane, and Evie, and they're talking about the whole drink situation. Diane like kind of jokes with Evie. She was like, well, Evie gave me a drink, so she murdered me. And Evie is like, no, I would never. She's like, no, I trust you. I trust you. But Miles swapped a drink with me. He didn't want his drink, so he gave it to me. And it's the way she said it. It's like, I'm not going to put it on Evie, but I am going to kind of put it on Miles. And as Miss Diane, you know how she is. She don't mind confronting somebody. She gets up, goes into the kitchen where they're at, or the bar, wherever they were, and says, Miles, you gave me a drink last night. You didn't want your drink, and you gave me a drink last night. And now Miles is like stuttering, and he's like, I gave a drink to who did I give a drink to? Just admit it. Just admit it. We'll say that she did say in front of most people, or the people that were in that room, that she actually said in her confessional that she trusts Miles and Evie. And I'm like, you shouldn't. So they all meet up outside, dressed to the nines in all black, because Claudia told them that they're going to march to the death of someone. And if they are able to pinpoint who was murdered while they go through the route, answering various questions, then they will get 7,000 pounds added to the prize pot. So Claudia tells Jasmine, you won the shield last night, or the last challenge, the last mission. You're safe, so you can ride in the carriage. Jasmine like, okay, cool. Baby, I like this treatment. Let me get in this carriage, honey, while y'all walk. So Jasmine gets in the carriage, and they are off down the route to get to their first question. So they get to their first question, and the first question is, whoever won a shield in the first mission is safe. Well, Jazz and Harry won shields in the first mission. So they get off in the carriage. They continue to march. So they get to the next question, and it says, whoever received a vote at the last round table would be safe. And it's Ross, Andrew, and Zach. So they get into the carriage. They're safe now. So now they come to like a little shrine, I guess it was, of a picture of Tracy and like some of her goods, as they call it in the question, worldly goods. It says, who would Tracy most likely leave her worldly goods to? So everybody's like looking around and see who the options are. And they're like, Diane, Diane, Diane. Us as the viewers, we know Diane was poisoned. So I'm like, it ain't Diane. So Diane was like, I guess, it'll be me. So she stands to the side, and Claudia says, incorrect. So Diane gets put back into the procession. And immediately Ross is like, oh my God, I'm starting to worry about Mom. I think Mom might be in trouble. And I'm like, he probably can feel it. Not to mention, Diane also is like, I think it's me. I feel like it's me. So they get to the next question down the route. And the next question is, who's never received a vote? It was Molly, Charlotte, Charlie, and Miles. So they all get into the carriage, and we are down to the final three: Paul, Evie, and Miss Diane. Immediately, Miss Diane looks over to Paul and says, actually, she whispered it to Evie. And I'm pointing this out because later on, this is going to be relevant information. So she says to Evie, is it Evie? No, I'm lying. She says it to Paul, but Evie is standing right next to her when she says it. She says to Paul, if you die, it was Jazz. If I die, it was Miles. Evie was standing directly next to her. Okay? So now they're walking down like a hill. And Paul was like, what did he give you? Because you know, Paul, baby, when I tell you that, he should win the award for the most snakish traitor. Because Paul is a sneaky traitor. Lord have mercy, he is. That thing is something else. But that's his job. So he's doing good. He's doing his job. But Diane says, wine. So we see in the confessional, Paul's like, wine, okay. How can I use this to my advantage? How can I use this to my advantage? Because he knows, like, Miles is going down. It's better if I could throw him to the wolves, clear my name. That way we get the traitor sent off me, and I live to see another day. And now that I'm thinking about it, Diane actually did whisper it to Evie because Evie was standing next to her. So she was saying it to Evie. She said, matter of fact, yes, because she said, if I die, it was Miles. If he dies, it was Jazz. So she said this to Evie. Just remember that. So they finally get to their final resting place, and there are 3 coffins down there. And Claudia tells them that they need to get inside their coffin and lay down. And these people literally get inside a coffin and lay down. And I'm thinking, this would be the part of the game where I would probably be out, because I don't know how comfortable I would feel getting inside of a coffin and laying down. This is a real coffin, and we are at a real, I'm guessing they're at a real cemetery. Or maybe this just staged. I don't know, but it was so eerie. Also, I wonder, is this the same cemetery that they did? No, probably not. Anyway, so all 3 of them get into the coffins. Diane tells the rest of the group that they have to take a black rose and drop it into the person's coffin who you think was murdered. Everybody thought that it was Diane. Miles decides that he wants to go put it into Paul's coffin. Now, I get why he did that, because he is the number 1 suspect for killing the woman. So putting it in her coffin, kind of like, But also going against the grain when everybody is saying her except for you. You're saying Paul. It's just like, oh God. Miles, you are just doomed. Regardless, I just don't see you coming out of this one. But anyways, so it's a landslide. Diane gets the most votes. Claudia's pacing back and forth, and then finally she slams the door, the top of the coffin down, and she says that Miss Diane was murdered last night. And they, proceed to lower Miss Diane. Well, not really lower her in the dirt in the ground, but they throw a couple, shovels of dirt onto her, and she's really in there. And that's another thing. Don't shut me up in this doggone coffin and then throw dirt on top of me. Don't do that. I'm gonna go ahead and check out. No, because they got the guests right. They ended up getting the 7,000 pounds. Ross is heartbroken, and even Ross had to put the freaking rose in his mama's coffin. I'm like, oh my God, can you imagine having to do that? Even though it's not real, it's still just like, this is like a memory that you're always going to have. He was like, I have to avenge my mom. He went into like that whole Spider-Man, the very first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, when the Green Goblin was like, avenge me, Harry! Avenge me! That's what Ross was giving. He needed to avenge his mom. He was like, I'm going to get these bastards regardless. I don't care what I got to do. I'm going to get them. So they get the 7,000 pounds, and now it's time to go back to the castle. So we see them driving in their trucks, and they're going back to the castle. And Paul has started with his seeds planting, just basically saying, you know, using what Miss Diane said. He's like, Miss Diane told me that Miles gave her a drink, and like, it's Miles basically. And then we see Miles in the other car, and he's trying to throw people off. He's like, I don't understand why we have to just be so set on this drink thing. Like, it could be poison from so many different things. So both of the traders are working at different directions. Who do y'all think is going to come out on top? Me personally, I feel like it's going to be Miles, the one that's going to be murdered, because of the simple fact that Diane literally was saying before she died that Miles and Evie gave her drinks. So when you hear a person say that they think that they were poisoned because somebody did X, Y, and Z, and then that person is dead, I mean, let's go ahead and go off of what this person said. So that's what I think. But y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all think. Who do you think is going to be banished tonight? Not murdered, but who do you think is going to be banished tonight? Do you think it's going to be Paul? Do you think it's going to be Miles? Or do you think it's going to be somebody else? Because one thing about this cast, they will throw everybody's name out there. They don't care. They'll have 10 names out. So we see Miles and Zach. They're just sitting, chilling, talking before it's time to go into the round table. And Miles is like, he's still working. He's like, you know, I think we should be looking outside of the drinks. We shouldn't just be focused on the drinks. And Zach is like, baby, listen, I'm just going to be straightforward with you. It's either you or it's Evie tonight, because like the evidence is too strong, basically. So with that being said, I'm going to get up and go get something to drink. Miles is like, no, I understand. I'm going to get something to drink too. So I think Miles feels like it's him, and he's ready. He's probably like, okay, let me think about what all I can say to try to throw this off and pin it on somebody else. At this moment, he doesn't even know that Paul is planting these seeds. So I don't even think he's gathering information on Paul. But I think Miles has a pretty good memory, and I think he's pretty quick to defend himself. But this will be the first time that he will have to do it if his name comes up at the round table, because it's never been brought up before. So I think that Miles is going to be ready, and we're going to have a really good little battle at this round table. So Miles went and got his drink, right? And we see Ross and pretty much everybody sitting around talking about Miles. Now remember, Diane is Ross's son, so you know he ain't gonna let this go. So he's talking about how he feels like it's Miles. Miles is literally outside the door eavesdropping. He out there like this as they're talking. He's like, okay, what they say? Let me make sure I hear everything before I step in here. So then he comes in, and they're like, oh, I think Harry had started talking. And they're like, oh yeah, come in, because you know, like, we're talking about you. Have a seat. And they just basically tell him, you know, like, your mom, well, not your mom, because they don't know, but he's like, it's you, dog. Or mate, rather, because that's the word they use. Tonight it's going to be you, mate. And this is the moment when Ross tells Miles that Paul said, that Diane said that he had gave her a drink and that he murdered her if she was the one to go down, get murdered. And he's like, but this is hearsay. I mean, we can't go off of that, because where is she? Can she come vouch for him? So I feel like in this moment, Miles is like, okay, let me get everything together, because me and Paul, we about to go at it, because I already know how Paul is. He's seen Paul come for Ash, so I'm pretty sure he already knows what Paul is up to. And Miles is like, you know, I was the one who brought that up. Why would I do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So now they are off to the round table. It is time to see who's going to be banished. So Claudia walks in and she lets them know that they guessed the correct person that was murdered last night, which was Miss Diane, and she was such a smart, lovely lady. She hated to see her go. So they got the 7,000 pounds. The prize pot is at 56,550 pounds, I believe. And we need to find out who's going to be banished tonight. So, of course, Paul's like, let me start. Because when we were marching to our deaths, Miss Diane told me that if she dies, that it was Miles. And if I die, then it would be Evie. I'm sorry. If I die, it would be Jazz. And so now I'm thinking, what he should have said was, she said it to Evie, because she didn't say it to Paul. But whatever. So, of course, Miles is like, but this is like he say, she say, because is she gonna come? Is she gonna rise like Christ on the third day, on this Easter Sunday, and come here and vouch for you? Is she gonna do that? Because if she's not gonna do that, then why would we just believe your word? Is there anybody else here that can vouch for you? And he's like, Evie, you could vouch for me. And Evie's like, I mean, I heard y'all talking, but I don't really know like the context of the conversation. I really can't. But I'm like, girl, and this is why I mentioned this early. What are you talking about? You don't know. She was like, I just heard the names. You heard that lady said. That lady specifically said it to you. You looked at her. You said nothing back. I don't know if you had blacked out. Maybe you thought you were the one going to be murdered. I don't know what. But you were literally standing shoulder to shoulder to that woman. She said it to you. You definitely heard her. But I feel like Evie feels like Paul is a traitor, so she doesn't want to help him. And I think she's probably closer to Miles. So that's what I'm gonna go on. That's what I think. Because she was like, no, don't come for me and have me sticking up for you. Because no, I don't know. Not in it. My name, what is it? My name is Bennett. I ain't in it. That was Evie. So Miles is defending himself, and he's like, okay, but wait one moment, because I'm not the only person who gave out a drink. Evie gave out a drink as well. So if Miss Diane received drinks from multiple people, how do we know? Like, how are we gonna go off of me? So Ross jumps in and he's like, listen, if Miss Diane said that you were the one who murdered her, gave her the drink, and Paul, if we believe you and you're wrong, then we're coming for you next banishment. And Paul's like, listen, if I'm wrong, just banish me tomorrow. Of course he's going to say that because he's a freaking traitor and he knows that Miles is a traitor. So I'm just like, you have to be kind of careful what you say at these banishment, at these round tables, because sometimes you set it up like you know that they're a traitor too well, and the reason why you know it is because you're a traitor as well. You know what I mean? So I'm like, Paul, you playing a good game, but you're getting a little too noticeable because you set Ash up good. Now you're really setting up Miles. So because Paul hasn't 100% gotten everybody's vote, I feel like that's what he thinks. He goes even deeper and says, it's not only that, Miles, it's also like your behaviors I have noticed. And he's like, what behaviors? They love throwing that out there. You're always quiet in the round table at breakfast. Like, you don't really have like a reaction. You're like never nervous. And Evie's like, well, I mean, if you've been feeling this way for a while, like, why are you just now saying this? Why haven't you been brought this up? And he's like, it's hard to bring these type of things up. Like, you have to have proof and you have to have people backing you. Like, just bringing it up, like, can get you banished, which is the truth. And I'm just like, Miles, it's over, buddy. It's over for you. So Miles and Harry are going back and forth about, my behavior isn't different. Yes, your behavior is different. You talk when you're outside of the round table, but when you get into the round table, you say nothing. And as they're going back and forth, Harry leans over to Zach and says, hey, do you think it's two traitors right now going at each other? And Zach is like, I said, oh, Harry, you little sneaky little sly fox, you. So now Harry is planting a seed in Zach's head that both of them are traitors. So no matter what, who goes out, Zach should be looking at the other person as a traitor because of what Harry just said to him. But if I was Zach, I would be like, could you possibly be a traitor too from giving me this information? And last but not least, once Harry tells Zach that, Zach says that, Paul, I'm still not 100% convinced that you're not a traitor because I just cannot get it out of my mind with you in the dungeon. And why would they pick you over Meg? Why would they kill Meg over you? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And Claudia's like, enough talk. It is time to vote. And I said, oh, bye, Miles. So they vote, and of course, Paul votes for Miles, and Evie votes for, I'm sorry, Miles votes for Paul, and Evie votes for Paul as well. So it's a landslide. And Claudia tells Miles, you have received the most votes. Please step into the circle of truth before you leave my castle forever. Tell us, are you a traitor or are you a faithful? And Miles gives his little speech of how, wonderful the game is, blah, 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 blah. And he says, I am a traitor. And everybody goes crazy. This is my favorite part. I love when they catch a traitor because they just feel so satisfied. And it's so dramatic. It's like fireworks going off. I love it. They don't get this dramatic in the US edition. So I love when they find a traitor. So everybody's happy because they got a traitor, especially Paul. Paul's like, yeah! I was like, boy, you knew he was a traitor. Stop acting surprised. But he's happy that Miles is going home and not him. But he's also super happy, not happy, but he's also super emotional, fake emotional. And he starts bawling and crying and breaking down. I'm like, oh, Paul, you could get an Academy Award, but this time I feel like you landed on a little too thick. Even Harry in his confessional was like, hey, baby, you're doing too much. Like, seriously, chill out. So Ross is telling him, like, calm down. It's okay. It's okay. I knew, because Ross has always thought that Paul is a traitor. I mean, is a faithful. So he's like, it's okay. Chill, chill, chill. Calm down right now. Go get you a drink. What do you want to drink? What do you want to drink? Paul says what he wants to drink. And Ross is like, okay, well, go get it yourself because I ain't going to get it for you. You ain't going to frame me. Go get your own drink. Pour your own troubles. So Paul goes and gets the drink and he finally calms down and he's not, giving us this over the top reaction, crying, breakdown, dramatic bullshit. So we see Evie in her confessional and she says, I feel like Paul was doing a soft launch on Miles. It was like he was setting it up before Miss Diane even said anything. And I'm thinking back through the episode, and I don't really think so. From what we saw, they may have cut that out, but he didn't really say anything until Diane said that if I die, it was Miles. And Diane was the one who said that she said somebody kissed her first, and then she said that Miles and Evie gave her drink. So it was really Miss Diane. I can't put that on Paul this time. So I don't know what you're talking about, Evie. Unless it was caught out, I didn't see it. But Evie says she is not convinced. It's so much suspicion on him. And like he just keeps on skating by. Like she's confused. She don't get it. So the clock strikes 12 and it's time for everybody to leave. And the two traitors that are left meet in the turret. And we see Harry and Paul. And Paul is like, oh my God, Miles gave me a run for my money today. It was a good one, but I was able to skate by again. And Harry's like, yeah, it had to be done. Like it just came to the point where he had to go. It was too suspicious, which Harry told him that the night they did it, like it's going to come right back to you. Harry told him that. And again, Miles was like, well, I've already been giving drinks out anyway, so my name's going to come up. So I kind of felt like last episode that it was going to be Miles because it was just set up that way. You know what I mean? So Harry also says how Paul feels like, he has this game just mapped out, and he feels like Paul is underestimating him, probably because Harry is younger than him. Paul thinks that, he's just like, he's one of those people who thinks he's the smartest person in the room and you can't get one over on him. But Harry is like, I got something up my sleeve you just don't know. Harry is ready for Paul, and I cannot wait to see how it all plays out, because Paul is underestimating Harry because he's gotten 2 traitors out, and I think that's what Harry's like, you already done got 2 people out, baby. You ain't gonna get me. You will not get me. So Claudia comes in and she lets them know that when we get down to 2 traitors, you all have the option to seduce another traitor or just murder and let it be you 2. So they decide, you know what, we need to bring someone in. Who can we bring in? We need to bring in someone good, so we need to think about our options. And they also are thinking that if we don't bring someone in, it's just going to be me and you, and we're going to have to go at each other because we're going to have to feed them a traitor, you know what I mean? So if it's just us 2, then who is going to turn on who first? So let's bring in someone who, if we need to, we can push them out and feed them to a traitor, and feed the faithfuls a traitor. So they think about Andrew. Andrew has had a little bit of heat on him, so he would be a good fit. Same thing with Ross. Jasmine doesn't have any heat on her, but she does keep it a little chaotic because she has a big voice, she has a big personality. So she's another person that they're thinking about. And then number 1 is Zach. Zach has been, thought to be a traitor since like day 1. But that also makes Zach a shield. So bringing Zach in would be good and bad. If y'all got him out, then like if they banished him, then they would, everybody would be like, yes, I knew it was Zach. We got a traitor, this, that, and the third. But you can also keep him in for people to come for him to keep eyes off of you. So they go back and forth with it, and then they make their decision. Claudia knocks on the door. She comes in. They let her know that they have made their decision, and they hand her the letter, and she takes the letter to the person that they decide to seduce. But the $1 million question is, who do you think they recruited? And will they accept? Or if they don't accept, that person has to be, well, no, actually they won't be murdered. But if they don't accept, there's a possibility that the traitors will come for them. So that's what the faithful is probably going to think. If I don't accept, they're probably going to try to murder me. So they probably feel like their back might be up against the wall. Who do y'all think it's going to be? Do you think it's going to be Andrew, Jazz, Ross, or Zach? If I have to pick, I would say they would probably pick, I'm going to go with Zach or Ross would be my options, because like I just said, not Zach or Ross, Andrew or Ross. Andrew has the least bit of suspicion on him, so he would probably be the best. Jasmine really has the least, but I just feel like they don't want another woman in there. I don't know why. So I'm gonna go with Ross or Andrew. I'm leaning more towards Andrew. Let me know down in the comments, y'all. Who do you think they are going to pick, and are they going to accept the seduction? Let me know down in the comments. So that is the episode, guys. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when I drop the next episode. I think there are 4 more episodes, or 5. This is 7. Yeah, there's 5. So 5 more episodes. Yeah, so like the video and leave some comments down below. Thank y'all so much for watching my reviews, subscribing to my channel, showing me love. I appreciate everybody so much. We are almost at 200. And also, if you haven't watched the other Traitors videos, go back and watch them. I need to figure out how to put the videos, like at the very end of the video, there will be like boxes up here where you can click on like other videos. I got to figure that out. I'm still a babe, this kind of babe. I'm still a babe in the YouTube world, so I'm still trying to figure these things out. So y'all bear with me. But thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for your love. And like I said, like the video, like the video, like the video. It helps get the video pushed out into the algorithm. And share the video. Tell your mama, your sister, your brother, your cousin, because The Traitors is a really, really, really good show. Like, it's really, really good. So tell everybody to come down here and watch my review. I have people who watch the review who don't even watch the show. So, you know, people do that as well. So share the video and like the video, subscribe to the video, and I will see y'all in my next one. And my Get Ready With Me will be out probably Sunday because I'm getting ready to edit this one now. So yeah, it'll probably be out Sunday because I still got to edit that. Lord Jesus, I got my work cut out for me. But anyways, y'all, I will see you in the next one. Bye.